I'm going to make a time lapse on how to make this baby hat, so let's get started. So I basically started by just wrapping each peg around 3 times, and normally I do twice, but that's only if I use like bulky yarn or if I want like a netty kind of look. So if I recommend you wrap it around 3 times and then you kind of like, put the, hook the thing over so, you have a better quality. And obviously I had to speed this up because this took me over an hour to make, and I didn't want to make you sit here for over an hour watching me loom knit a baby hat. So it's sped up because it took me about an hour and 2 minutes, and I sped it up so it's about 6 minute video. So it's I just keep rapping and rapping, and I'm just gonna talk through this because like I figure instead of just watching a mute video, you could just watch me do this while you hear my voice in the background. So I've been making hats lately, and I really got into loom knitting. And right now I'm working on another project for my aunt, and it's a scarf. But that's going to take me a while, so I'm probably not going to do many scarves. I'm mostly a hat person. I also make slippers, too. But if you want me to make you a slipper, I need to know how big your feet are. Same thing with a hat. You have a big head, a small head. When I make stuff for people, I want to make sure it fits them. So I'm just doing this. I'm making a brim, so the hat looks nicer and doesn't have that stupid string hanging out. And you don't have to do a brim, but the brims usually look nice because if you don't do a brim, then like the hat kind of like curls. But it looks kind of like a brim, but the brim looks nicer. Plus, if you want to make a hat to keep your ears nice and warm, it's nice to have a nice thick brim to cover your ears from the vicious cold weather of winter. Alright, so I just used like a solid color for this because I figure, if I start switching colors, it would make the video longer and it would take longer. So I just stuck with one color. And at the end, when I finally finished this hat, it was, it's small. So I don't know if it would fit a regular size baby. It might just fit like a preemie. So I don't know. Preemies need hats too. So I just keep making rows. And I did like 10 rows, and then I did the brim. And then I did like another 20. I was going to do 30 rows, but I figured, make it small. Babies have small heads. I don't know. I'm not really around babies, so I wouldn't really know the exact size of a baby hat. I'm not really a baby person. I don't really want to have kids or anything, so I don't know. But if my brother decides to have children, I'd like to make like hats and blankets and all kinds of stuff for his children. So I can be the aunt that makes stuff. Because I had an Aunt Flo, she was like a seamstress. I think she made clothes or something. And I kind of want to do that. I want to get into that stuff. I want to make clothes, make my own dresses and all that stuff. But right now I'm just making hats and slippers and stuff. I also made some purses too, but they're all right, I guess. I don't know how many people would want a knit purse, so yeah. Usually when I make the purses, I make them the same way I make the hats, except, I make like the flat. I don't cinch it together like a hat. Well, it's hard to explain. If you were a loom knitter, you probably kind of understand what I'm talking about. And what I do when I make the purses, I make them fairly big or small or whatever, and then I crochet the handle, and that's how I do a purse. But right now we're making a baby hat, so yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm just talking to make this video less boring. So, you could just mute the video if you don't want to listen to me talk. So, that's so. I also, at the end of the video, if you keep watching, I make a pom-pom for the hat. So, yeah, I do that too. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'll just keep on talking. And if you don't want to listen to me, you just mute the video. So, and this is actually my 15th hat. Yeah, I made a total of 15 hats. My first hat was kind of crappy. I used like single string yarn. I switched colors on it, but it was one string yarn. I E-wrapped like twice around the pegs, and when you do that, it doesn't really come out good unless you're doing like a bulky yarn. And so you got to wrap it on like 3 times if you want like a good looking thing, or you do a double string if you wrap just twice. And and you get faster as you go along. When I first started, my hats were like, they weren't bad, but they were getting better. And I made one not too long ago, just recently, a patriotic hat. It had like stripes on the brim and like what looked like to be stars on the top of the hat. And it was really cool, and it took me like over 5 hours to make it. It was like intense, but I'm glad I did it. So most of my hats take a couple hours, unless I do like a double string yarn. and I wrap around twice instead of 3 times, and, you know, and I wrap around 3 times. E-wrap 3 times. It takes me longer than if I just E-wrap twice. I mean, I don't know how many people watching this are loom knitters. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. And how I learned to loom knit and stuff was I just watched like a bunch of YouTube tutorials, and I learned it because I was trying to read instructions, and I'm not really good at reading instructions. So what I do is I go on YouTube and I like to see it and hear it, you know, kind of like. But I want to learn how to knit with just the needles. But I watched like a lot of YouTube tutorials on it, but I could never get it. I need somebody to actually show me. Oh, right now I'm cinching off the hat. Yeah, so I'm finishing it up. And, you know, it was pretty simple, this hat. It took me, like I said, an hour and 2 minutes to make this whole thing. It fits on my fist. So, yeah. And then here I am, like, doing, like, the square knot, turning it inside out, tying it up, and here it is, and I'm making the pom-pom. Yeah, the pom-pom. Ooh. And, yeah, so, I don't know what else to say. The video is almost done, so I guess I'll just keep talking. Yeah, and then you just, tie the pom-pom on, sew, and then you're done with your little baby hat.